much to the fan, and I think that they then get educated into wanting to see everybody doing the same thing. And I think the unique thing about wrestling is the fact that everybody is unique in their own way. And so you want to see the person behind the character as opposed to let's just see everybody go 100 miles per hour every match, you know. But I guess it's a personal preference there as well with all that. But I get what you're saying. I do think you're right. I think there would only come negative response if they suddenly see a much shorter guy or, you know, skinny kind of looking guy do that to a giant. I think, that's going to get a very negative reaction. But yeah, you're right. If a big guy does flips off the top, they're loved for it. You know, it's like, look how athleticism he is. Like, this guy at that size can do things like that. I totally get that.
Because we had one mate, and he gave someone, like, he's basically the same size as me, and he gave someone like a German suplex,
right?
And then someone went up to him and said, "Yeah, that's not believable." I think so. His German, like, deadlift German suplex that he just done, like he breached it as well. Mm-hmm. That's not believable. Mm-hmm. But the guy that said that to him jumping over the top, it's like springboard, whatever.
Yeah,
that's just as believable as like a German. Like I'm happy to do I love doing the flips. I love bounce off the ropes, and then I love going down to that nitty gritty wrestling. Mm-hmm. But I love having a row.
Yeah,
I'm a little chavvy Essex boy.
Yeah, no, I get you. Yeah, I mean, mate, and plus, like, I think like being like that doesn't happen as much either. Like, I think people and maybe wrestlers of today have kind of forgotten about the other things that you can use within a match, like facials and the art of selling a little bit more. I always harp on about that, but I do feel like sometimes the selling has gone sometimes. A lot of the times they're using facial expressions, using a bit more body language, but it's kind of one of those learning things. But I do feel like it's slowly creeping back, because I think, again, what was old becomes new a lot of the times. But I do like that. I like to watch a match personally, I guess, as an adult, where not everything is so perfect. And yes, stuff might be a little bit like, oh, should that have happened? Shouldn't it have happened? But I don't want to be standing there going, you know, you effed up and all that. I just think if you watch a real fight or you watch UFC, guess what? Stuff don't always come off well. It's just how it is. And I think that's much more realistic. However, because trained as wrestling audience, people see that as weakness all the time. And it really bothers me, because I'm like, even if something does screw up, who cares? That's what a fight would be, right? But I think we've just been educated to such a degree where we have to sort of pounce on it all the time, which is kind of really crappy in a way, because then everybody wants to be almost too perfect, and everything's too flowing. And I appreciate that style, but I think sometimes, you know, you have to sort of like chop and change a bit, I guess, just from my own personal opinion anyway. On that. So anyway, my friend, thank you very much for being on the show. It's been cool to chat to you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Before you go, let all my where can we find you on the social medias and shops? Have you got any of the merch or anything?
Instagram is callumnewman.p.op, and then I don't know why I've done it. Twitter is Prince of Pace CN, and then you can get. I just released 2 T-shirts at On the Gear.
Oh, nice!
I'm not on the gear, but there's T-shirts on there.
Nice, nice. Yeah, that's cool. That's been good having you, man. Before you go, I've been asking all my guests this: have you got any TV recommendations for listeners? We've had Tiger King. That's been the most popular feedback that I've had. Tiger King. I'm sure Hori's seen. Oh, he said he's only been watching Friends, so he's been quite old school. But have you got any recommendations yourself?
I've just been watching Rick and Morty.
Right. that's nice. Yeah.
Right.
Go on, mate.
No, it's just there's nothing else. Like, Disney Plus.
Yeah, that's gone from strength to strength, hasn't it? What a time to release that.
Oh, what's a Disney Plus is good to watch?
Yeah, I've got to admit, I did subscribe to Disney Plus just because I wanted to see what all the fuss was about, and I've been addicted to it. I've been really into it. Yeah.
Everyone was like, "Oh, you need to get it. It's like, no, I don't. It's Disney." Like,
yeah, exactly.
Okay, and as soon as I was like, "No, get it," I was like, "Fine." As soon as I got it, I ain't been able to click off it.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff on there. I'm sure. I mean, this is the perfect time to use it, right? Because, you know, I was saying this to someone the other day. I was like, imagine, you know, like I know people harp on their board, but listen, you could have had this at a worse time where we don't have all these wonderful streaming services and internet, and you know, there's so much TV out there to go and watch now. Like, you know, if this happened in like the early 90s or whatever, it'd be a nightmare. You know, surfing between like 1 to 5 channels and a radio station or something, like, come on. So yeah, it's a kind of a good time to catch up on stuff, and obviously you've got loads of wrestling as well. Like, just that in itself, there's enough stuff out there to keep you busy and be watching. So it's not too bad a time. But yeah, there you go, Rick and Morty. I haven't watched that for a while now.
That's great.
I need to go back, and it's because I started to go, because with the Disney, I didn't realise that they bought out Simpsons, so I started to go back into that again.
They every episode.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I think Disney, Amazon are, you know, they're slowly taking over the world as we know it. I mean, these places are doing well out of what's going on at the moment. I tell you, there's not much that is, but yeah, that they are, that's for sure. Well, thank you again, my friend. I hope to see you in person when we're back out again on the road at some point, and actually do an interview in person, which would be cool. Obviously, nobody knows when all that's going to come about, but you know, it'll be a fun time when it does. I know a lot of wrestlers, especially in this country, have been slightly worried that they feel like, you know, this could be the end and sort of a big downfall when it comes back. But I personally believe it's going to have the opposite effect. I think that people will be lusting after going back out there and watching a wrestling show again. So I feel like all the independents, at least for their first couple of shows, will be more than okay, I would say. I think it's just sort of hanging in there as tight as they can whilst this is going on, I guess, is the key problem.
If they're tweeting like how much they miss it,
yeah,
like imagine that. Like, you see it all. Like, if you watch Twitter about wrestling, see how much everyone's missing it.
Exactly.
Imagine that first show back, that one show that's going to be open. Everyone is going to like, oh, I can't wait. As soon as that one show happens, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah. No, I'm with you there. Well, thank you again, my friend, for coming on. It's been a real pleasure to have you. Be safe. Keep well, my friend.
You too.
All right. Take care, buddy.
Yeah, man. See you later.